Hi guys, it's Mr. Fed. Welcome back to the channel. I am back in the man cave with a bit of a waffle video. It's been 1 year since the Nintendo Switch 2 was released. I was one of the lucky ones that did get a Nintendo code, and I was able to go into the Nintendo shop and purchase my Switch 2 and get my Switch 2 on the day of release. But I don't have a lot of games for it. I was looking at my Nintendo Switch 2 collection, and for the entire year, well, this is the collection here. That's not a very sizable collection. So I've got 11 physical games there, plus I have Mario Kart World downloaded onto the Switch 2 hard drive. Now, for a console that's been out for a year, I would probably expect myself to have at least double that amount of games at the very least. So it has been a very slow year for me in terms of purchasing games. Part of that is my fault. Getting a little bit older, work is taking up a lot of time, marriage is taking up a lot of time. The desire to play video games perhaps is waning a little bit. Investing time in exploring new games is perhaps not a priority anymore. Certainly, I'm much more selective of the games that I buy. I do a lot more research into games. During the Switch and perhaps even the Wii U era. I used to buy games just because I simply quite like the front cover or the artwork on it, and I just used to pick up 3 or 4 games without even really hearing anything about them and buy them. But with the Switch 2, I'm being a little bit more careful. But some of it is a little bit of Nintendo's fault as well. Certainly, some of the releases, or a lot of the releases, are kind of re-releases of games that I already own. So, do I want to go out and buy Breath of the Wild, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, when I already own it on the Switch? I don't think I do. Do I want to buy Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch 2 edition? The answer to that is also no. Do I want to buy Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 edition? Do I want to buy Xenoblade Chronicles, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition? Do I want to buy Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition? The answer to all of that is no, I don't. I have the original Switch title, and that's good enough for me. There's not enough content or enough add-ons really for me to justify dropping another £60 on a game that I already own. Another problem with the Switch 2 I think I've found is some of the games are re-releases that are games that are so old, aren't they? Now, I did buy Cyberpunk. I mean, that was never on a Nintendo console before. I bought that one. It's the one that interested me the most. But I mean, the game in itself is been around for absolutely forever. I mean, it's a 10-year-old game. I did buy it. I did enjoy this one, but I'm not really inclined to buy other games of a similar nature. For example, games like Fallout 4. I mean, how long has Fallout 4 been around? Fallout 4 must have been around for at least 10 years, but if not longer, maybe going up to 15 years. Now, even though I've never played Fallout 4, I've seen it so much and it's been around for so long, it's technically, I might as well have played it. It's like one of those movies where you don't actually sit down and watch it, but you know everything that's going on because it's been on so often and you've caught little snippets and glimpses of it every time you kind of walk into a room, or maybe you're watching YouTube clips that you felt like you've seen the movie. I'll give an example, like Harry Potter. I've never seen any of the Harry Potter films, but I could probably quote you every single line from every single film because I've seen little snippets of it all everywhere, all over the internet and all over TV. So that's one issue. The other issue is that the games that Nintendo have actually released, well, they've not really grabbed me. Let's just put it that way. Let's take Mario Kart World. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say something really controversial. I prefer Mario Kart 8. I didn't like Mario Kart World. The open concept of Mario Kart World was great in theory, but they didn't really pull it off in practice. I didn't really like the idea of racing, and 2 out of the 3 laps were kind of a straight road to get to the track, and then you had like 1 lap on the track which was actually racing around the track. I didn't really get on with that at all. The actual added kind of game mode that they added, wasn't it, where you had to cross a checkpoint in a certain position in order to continue with your race. I I can't remember even what that mode is called now. It shows how long it's been since I played it. I didn't really enjoy that either. Certainly Mario Kart 8, sorry, I put about 300 hours into that. Put 25 hours into Mario Kart World, and I haven't really picked it up again since. The other first-party Nintendo games that have been released, I mean, the only one that really met my expectation for a AAA Nintendo title, and I did make a video about this before, is Donkey Kong Bonanza. That is the only game that actually saved the launch date of the Nintendo Switch 2 for me. Mario Kart World didn't do it, but Donkey Kong Bonanza was an excellent game. Loads of collectibles, loads of exploration to do. Every single square inch of that game needed to be smashed with Donkey Kong's big old hands, didn't it? And every single banana needed to be found, of which there were absolutely hundreds. I really enjoyed Donkey Kong Bonanza. I completed this game. It took me about 50 hours, so it was a decent playthrough as well. But outside of that, I'm really struggling to think of a first-party Nintendo title that really kind of blew me away. We did have, didn't we? We did have Metroid Prime 4. Now, Metroid Prime 3 was one of my favourite games of all time ever, on the Nintendo Wii, with the use of those motion controls. Metroid Prime 4, it wasn't worth the wait, was it? I mean, it took me 20 hours to finish this, and I finished it at about 94-95% on my first playthrough. So there's like maybe one item or two items that I missed. But out of the 20 hours that I put into Metroid Prime 4, at least 10, or a good 2/3 of it, was spent driving around that completely barren desert collecting those green crystals. I do not understand why they added that element to Metroid Prime 4 and kind of just bolster out the gameplay with such a meaningless and pointless activity like driving that bike around that desert and collecting those green crystals. When you actually did a level, I mean, when it was excellent and it got to core Metroid gameplay, it was excellent. I didn't take too kindly to fighting, that one particular boss over and over and over and over again. They could have done a little bit more variation with the end level bosses. But outside of that, I mean, it didn't live up to the expectations. It certainly didn't live up to, the expectation given the amount of time we waited for it. I mean, between this and Metroid 3, how many years was it? It was more than 15, it must be. So Metroid Prime 4 is a bit of a bust. I really hope that they either make the desert and the riding around on that bike scene more interactive, or they just get rid of it entirely and just add more core Metroid Prime gameplay. What other little games have I got that I can talk about? I did do a video on Madden 26. I won't be getting Madden 27. I feel that Madden 26 has scratched my itch. I really enjoyed it when it first came out, but the more I played it, the more I found that the online Madden community is not a very pleasant online community to be a part of, to be honest. What you need for games like this is a core group of close friends that all play Madden. But unfortunately, I don't have any friends that play Madden, so the more I played it online, the more disinterested I started to become. I did do a couple of single player seasons. I never quite won the Super Bowl, but I was getting better. But after about 70 hours, it was really time to move on. I won't be getting Madden 27. I think it'll probably be another 5 years before I pick up another Madden game, to be honest. And I really want, at least one close friend to pick it up as well, so that we could, have some good Madden times together. Going on about old re-releases, I did pick up Resident Evil 7, but again, it just goes to show that a lot of games on Nintendo Switch 2 are titles that have been around on other consoles for absolutely years and years and years and years. And some of those titles, they do kind of show their age. I mean, I completed that within 10 hours. It was okay, but I'm in no hurry really to go back to the Resident Evil series. Other games, I've got Shadows, Assassin's Creed, Shadows. Again, I think this game doesn't concern itself really with wasting your time. there's a lot of arduous, tiny little mini missions and a lot of exploration that goes simply nowhere. Credit where credit is due, Ubisoft created an incredible looking world. The world looks fantastic, but the actual world, as you're traversing from point A to point B, it's just not very interactive. You just find yourself doing a lot of horse riding and a lot of admiration about how good it looks, but not a lot else. So yeah, I mean, I'll just quickly show you the other games. I got Hades 2 as well. That was a gift. I haven't actually put a lot of hours into that, so that's one that's kind of in the backlog pile. I got Octopath Traveler 0, which was absolutely fantastic. That has absolutely made me want to go back and replay Octopath Traveler 2. So that's probably the best game I picked up on the Switch 2, to be honest. Yoshi, I recently did a play video on that. I gave this game about 6.5 out of 10. It's not as good as Crafted or Woolly World in my opinion, but it's easy, very simple. You can't die in it, so that's always a nice. There's loads of exploration to do. With each creature, there's about 36 abilities that you need to uncover for each creature. Now, for me, that is too many. Sometimes uncovering these abilities got arduous and you found yourself looking at solutions on your phone because they're just so off the wall and obscure. I think if you halve the number of things that you have to find out about these creatures from 36 to 18, I think that would have been far more kind of better. Sometimes in computer games, less is more. So yeah, those are the reasons why I haven't really picked up any more Switch games. As I said, my own sort of desire to explore new genres of games is kind of waning. Nintendo releasing Nintendo Switch 2 versions of doesn't appeal to me. Nintendo Switch 2 versions of older games like Fallout 4, well, they don't appeal to me either. And other releases like Pokemon, as I've said on this channel before, I'm not a Pokemon fan. I just don't get it. The Switch 2 hasn't really been that initiative. Now, I don't know if anyone was as daft as me. Let me just reach over here. Was anyone as daft as me and pick up one of these? I mean, now I picked one up because I thought, well, I'd rather have one than not. But I guess what Nintendo rely on you having in order to maximize your use out of this tiny little camera here is a group of friends. And being middle-aged 45-year-old, my friends that play Nintendo, well, they're rarer than unicorn poo, aren't they? So I don't have any. So this camera has gone completely to absolute waste. I've not used it. I have not used it. There are no Switch 2 titles that I can see that kind of put this camera to use outside of Mario Party Jamboree TV. But as you said, I already own it, so I'm not going to pick up a game just because I can see my face above the dice as I roll it. So I would really be interested in the comments. Has anyone got any valuable use out of this camera that I think it's set me back 60 quid, maybe 55 quid, I can't really remember, but it wasn't a cheap little device, was it? It was a spenny old device for something that's just sort of sat on my desk not doing anything. I mean, it's got dust and smudge marks all over it, even though I've not actually, that's the first time I've picked it up in about a year. So yeah, the initiative around the Switch 2 hasn't really blown me away either. I'll do anything for something 3D that's not Labo and not Virtual Boy. If you thought that Labo was bad, then they re-released Virtual Boy. We're going backwards here, Nintendo, aren't we? Everyone's exploring the metaverse, and we get Labo and we get Virtual Boy. So it doesn't make any sense. So my first Switch 2 year in review. I'm really glad I got one on the day it was released. Don't get me wrong. The Switch 2 is a marked improvement over the Nintendo Switch. Certainly, I haven't had any problems with Joy-Con drift on my Switch 2, so that is good. The controller, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, is infinitely better than the Nintendo Switch 1 Pro controller. And I'm being more selective with the games that I buy. But the games that have come out I've not been completely blown away with. Now Nintendo have just had a direct. They're going to re-release Zelda Ocarina of Time. So that could be pretty exciting depending on what they do with it. I mean, I don't mind re-releases if they're from consoles that are several generations back. What I can't stand is obviously, you know, Breath of the Wild re-release. That seems like it was only released yesterday, doesn't it? Or Tears of the Kingdom certainly does, doesn't it? So a re-release of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and of course the new Xenoblade Genesis. I've said on this channel so many times before that Xenoblade is my favourite video game series of all time. I would easily lose hundreds of hours into Xenoblade. So Xenoblade Genesis is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most, but that doesn't come out until 2027. So what do I have to look forward to until Xenoblade Genesis in 2027? I don't really know. It's probably going to be 007 First Light and Lego Batman. But as always, these games have already come out on other platforms. Do not ask me why every single time a major third-party release like Lego Batman or First Light come out, other platforms get it first and Nintendo always get it second. It really, really, really bothers me. Outside of that, I'm still playing Switch games. So I did a video about this one as well. I'm still putting hours into NASCAR Rivals. So it's another reason why I'm might not be buying as many Switch 2 games as I thought I would. It's because the Nintendo Switch, I mean, it's still got life in it. The Nintendo Switch games and the Nintendo Switch library, it still has life in the old boy yet. So that's my thoughts on the old Nintendo Switch 2. What would I give it? I mean, I probably wasn't as excited about the Nintendo Switch 2 first year as I was about the Nintendo Switch 1 first year. Lack of initiative, lack of new games, but I'm still enjoying it. I don't know what score I'll give it out of 10. I won't give it a score. I won't give it a score because it's too subjective, isn't it? Because there are other people that maybe have just had a Switch 2 for the first time, and there are people out there who might even have less games than I do, and they might be absolutely having the best time of their life with it. So, and that's great, and that is absolutely fantastic, and that's what it's all about. So, thanks for watching my waffle video on my first year with my Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to end it there and get back to my cup of tea. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.